I told Tank. Tank know what's up. You know what I mean? He know what he up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn. You know what I mean? He want to fight these guys that everybody in the world know that ain't gonna give him no fight. They not mentally.
After what Keyshawn just did to Dennis Binnick, we knew it wouldn't be long before the boxing world started talking. But the loudest voice has been Terence Crawford's, who is a close friend of Keyshawn. Recently, Crawford called out GervontaDavis on X, telling him to stop being scared and fight Shakur Stevenson.
I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in. So awesome.
It's gonna be him though.
It makes sense. He's closer.
Big brother first.
Secret that Shakur and Keyshawn are close to Crawford, so fans see this as Crawford trying to pressure Tank into these fights by challenging his pride. But this call-out feels more like Crawford acting as a promoter rather than issuing a real challenge. GervontaDavis, though a good fighter, isn't on Tank's radar for a reason. He hasn't made a big impact in the boxing world, and his performances against Miguel Madueño and Nahir Albright were unimpressive. And let's not forget the biggest challenge, Andy Cruz.
I've been in the ring with Tank twice already, sparring him. You know what I'm saying? And, if he wasn't the top dog and somebody else was the top dog, I'd be calling that person out. But since he's the top dog, I'm calling you out.
Cruz has beaten Keyshawn 4 times in the amateurs and even embarrassed him at the 2020 Olympics. If Keyshawn couldn't beat the guy who dominated him, why would Tank bother fighting him? Tank isn't here to give charity fights just to boost Crawford's gym mate. If Crawford wants Keyshawn to be a star, he should have him face Cruz again and settle the score first. Until then, Keyshawn doesn't belong in the same conversation as Tank.
Fight the face of boxing in the 135 division. I would love to fight light skin, but I just don't. You know who it is. I just think he don't got the balls to fight me. Our characters like.
What really seems to be making Crawford take shots at Gervonta is a recent post from Tank himself. Tank had already called out Crawford on X, saying, "Y'all really think Crawford is chasing greatness? He's not. He just has to do this to make decent money." Tank's comment hit Crawford where it hurts, his so-called legacy. Crawford has been saying that moving up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez is about greatness, but Tank doesn't buy it. He thinks Crawford isn't chasing legacy, he's chasing a big payday. And honestly, the Canelo fight looks more like a Saudi retirement deal than anything else. If Crawford really cared about legacy, why not move up to 168 first and prove himself? Skipping straight to Canelo.
To be a great fighter.
He's calling for Tank. Now
He beats Tank.
Yeah, you think so?
GervontaDavis beats Tank, in my opinion.
But Crawford didn't stop there. In one of his most heated shots, he said, "Tank, I've got bigger things to worry about. Grow some courage and fight. Shakur Stevenson or GervontaDavis, stop being scared. Maybe that's why you ran over your girl and beat her, because you have no guts and she knows it." That wasn't just a call-out. It was a full-on low blow. Bringing up Tank's past personal issues is the kind of move that turns a boxing rivalry into an all-out war. If Crawford thought this would pressure Tank into accepting a fight, he clearly doesn't understand how Tank thinks.
This new guy, he's 140 pounds. He's not bad.
Yeah.
GervontaDavis.
Let's be honest. Crawford's frustration might also be about his numbers. His last fight against Israel Madouev reportedly sold only 75,000 to 100,000 pay-per-view buys. That's a terrible number for someone considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. Crawford has never been a PPV star like Tank. Tank's name alone guarantees big sales and packed arenas. Crawford, not so much. And as for Tank fighting Shakur Stevenson, don't count on it. Shakur might be undefeated, but fans don't find him exciting. He's been called boring more times than anyone can count. Tank, on the other hand, is a showman. He brings knockouts.
It's 2 135 division champions that I would love to fight, you know, but if they got the guts to step in the ring with the businessman, tell them send me a contract.
Shakur, on the other hand, is the kind of fighter who could put casual fans to sleep. From a promotional standpoint, Tank would be carrying all the weight. Why would he take a fight where he does all the heavy lifting? For some reason, Eddie Hearn seems to think he can turn Shakur into a global star, but good luck with that. Maybe Shakur could gain some popularity in the UK, but in the US, where entertainment standards are sky high, he doesn't stand a chance. In America, talent alone isn't enough. You need charisma, excitement, and that it factor. Shakur.
You gotta ask him those type questions. Like, at this point, like, y'all can't ask me those questions. I'm not in a position to send him a contract. I'm not in a position to be like, yo, I'm fighting him this year. I'm not in that position yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop asking me those questions. All respect, you know what I'm saying?
No, you good.
And for every interviewer that's gonna watch this, don't ask me that question no more.
Boxing in the US is a whole different game. Look at the UK's biggest stars: Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Conor Benn, and Chris Eubank Jr. They may be huge names across the pond, but they wouldn't have the same star power in the US. Making it big here takes more than just skill. It requires showmanship, and Tank has both. At the end of the day, Crawford's shots at GervontaDavis are just that: jabs. He's trying to stir up controversy, but Tank doesn't seem interested in playing along. Tank knows his worth, and he's not about to let Crawford's guys build. Their name's off him. If Crawford really wants attention, he should focus on his own fights instead of dragging Tank into his circle of protégés. Whether it's about legacy, money, or pride, this feud between Crawford and Tank is only getting hotter. But if Crawford thinks he can shame Tank into a fight, he might need to rethink his strategy. Tank isn't scared. He's just smart. And until Crawford's team proves they deserve a shot, all the trash talk in the world won't make it happen. That being said, Kesson Davis made a big statement on Valentine's Day with his knockout win over Dennis Baroni. His fourth-round KO not only cemented his spot as the WBO lightweight mandatory challenger, but also reignited his push for a fight with Tank. After the win, Kesson didn't hold back. He grabbed the mic and called out Tank directly. "Hey, Tank, knock knock."
2025, we got big plans for everybody in the boxing world. Hey, Gervonta, knock knock.
This challenge wasn't just talk. It was the result of years of tension between the two lightweights. Their feud, which has played out on social media and in interviews, has become increasingly personal. Kesson's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, has been vocal about his belief that Kesson is the one to end Tank's reign as WBA lightweight champion. Gervonta is tailor-made for Kesson, McIntyre confidently declared. This fight will play out just like Terence Crawford's destruction of Errol Spence. It's a bold comparison, but Kesson isn't backing down. He echoed his trainer's words, saying, "I see myself putting the same kind of beating on Gervonta."
That can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he could be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he could be beat easily because he's just a basic type of dude.
Kesson believes his youth, intelligence, and power make him a nightmare for Gervonta. "I'm smarter than him inside and outside the ring. Period," he declared. This isn't just talk for Kesson. It's backed by his performances. His recent win over Baron Sheik, who had previously beaten super featherweight legend Emmanuel Navarrete to claim the WBO title, was a huge accomplishment. Baron Sheik, an Olympic silver medalist, brought skill and experience into the ring, making him Kesson's toughest opponent yet. But Kesson acknowledges Gervonta's knockout power, the same power that has earned Tank a fearsome reputation. But he insists that fans haven't seen his full potential yet. "I've got one-punch power too, but I've only had 12 fights, and I've only been fighting at an DID elite level for 3 years. You don't even know what I'm fully capable of yet," he said. Kesson's rise has been fast, and he isn't slowing down. His next fight against Baron Sheik is expected to be another statement performance. While Baron Sheik is a tough opponent, with an Olympic silver medal and a WBO title to his name, Kesson is confident he will come out on top. "Baron Sheik is going to give it everything he's got," Kesson said. "But going to try to make it as tough as possible for me," Kesson said. but I'm ready for whatever he brings. The fight promises fireworks, and Kesan seems determined to prove his dominance. However, his focus remains on GervontaDavis. The taunts and call-outs aren't just for show, they're part of a bigger plan to force the fight. Kesan knows that a showdown with Tank would be a huge pay-per-view event and a career-defining moment. This fight has been building up for a while. Now's the time to make it happen, he said. Tank, on the other hand, hasn't been quick to take the bait. Known for his knockout power and flashy style, he is one of boxing's biggest stars. But his critics, Kesan included, question whether he's willing to take on the best opponents.
All that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you're going to get hit.
While Gervonta has faced many dangerous opponents throughout his career, Kesan represents a new kind of challenge, a young, hungry contender with something to prove. If they face off, it wouldn't just be a fight, it would be a battle of wills, power, and intelligence. But Kesan doesn't see it as an even matchup. "He's got one punch," he said dismissively. "That's it. I'm better in every other category." It's a bold statement, but given Kesan's recent performances, it's hard to ignore. His win over Baron Cheek wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. The lightweight division is full of talent, but Kesan's star is rising faster than most. His confidence, skill, and willingness to take on anyone have made him a fan favorite. Now, with his eyes...
Niggas be scared. I ain't sugarcoat. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be scared in there, you feel me?
Aram's belief in TerenceDavis is a big deal. For decades, Aram has been a kingmaker. In boxing, spotting talent before the rest of the world catches on. His high praise for Kesan, placing him above GervontaDavis, Shakur Stevenson, and Vasily Lomachenko, shows the confidence he has in his rising star. Lomachenko, once a dominant force in the featherweight and junior lightweight divisions, has struggled at lightweight. So when Aram says Kesan is already better than the Ukrainian veteran, it carries weight. With his Olympic pedigree and rapid... Kesan's fight against Dennis Baroni wasn't just another title challenge. It was a career-defining moment, a statement win that proved his potential. Baroni, known for his toughness and slick style, had won the WBO title by defeating Emmanuel Navarrete, a long-reigning champion. His Olympic silver medal placed him among the top technical boxers, and many believed he would be Kesan's toughest test yet. But Kesan didn't just pass the test. He aced it with a fourth-round knockout.
Boxing, what do you think?
For sure, he can face some boxing. I don't have no problem with saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves everything that's coming to him. He's the face of boxing for sure.
And he's that guy. You talked about how good Shakur...
The heated build-up to the fight only added fuel to the fire. Kesan accused Baroni's camp of racism, sparking a major controversy. The tension didn't just stay in the press. It carried over into the weigh-ins and face-offs, creating a charged atmosphere. Teofimo Lopez, never one to hold back, added to the drama with his own controversial comments, further stirring the pot. All of this tension came to a head in the ring, where Kesan channeled his anger and frustration into an explosive performance, one that left Baroni on the canvas.
He's a tremendous talent. I still think he is, and I think he'll beat any lightweight with the possible exception of Keyshawn Davis.
That's a fight we probably will never see, huh?
That's a
GervontaDavis's potential retirement, or at least his thoughts about it, makes the timing of Kesan's win even more significant. Tank has been one of boxing's biggest stars, but his recent comments have left fans and the boxing world unsure about his future. At first, he announced plans to retire by the end of 2025, but in later interviews, his stance seemed less clear. He has expressed frustration with the sport, saying belts and titles don't matter to him anymore. Instead, he's focused on his financial future and family life. His growing disillusionment with boxing, along with his desire to stay out of the spotlight.
A world champion now. How big of a fight is Davis versus Davis?
Shit, y'all tell me.
Big fight. Hey, Keyshawn, question. Do you feel like you put the 135-pound division on notice tonight?
GervontaDavis admitted he's rethinking his retirement plans. Instead of walking away for good, he's now considering taking a break to focus on personal growth. "I want to get myself together," he said. "There's stuff I need to work on, like being there for my kids, going to school, and building myself up as a great human being." His shift in focus suggests a man torn between his talent in the ring and his desire for a life outside of boxing.
Before you go?
Why do you think about retiring?
For what? Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him. The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming this nigga name. He haven't done nothing.
At a press conference before his fight with Lamont Roach, GervontaDavis's frustration was clear. "It's over after this year. This is trash, garbage. I'm out," he declared. His blunt words weren't just about boxing itself, but also the lifestyle that comes with being a star in the sport. Despite his success, world titles in 2 weight classes and major victories, Tank feels trapped by the pressures and politics of boxing. His win over Ryan Garcia, while impressive, was clouded by controversy due to a rehydration clause. And although he's a 2-division champion, his lack of unification fights against other world champions has drawn criticism.
Now, on the flip side, you got Gervonta Tank Davis.
If GervontaDavis truly steps away from boxing, it could open the door for Davis to take the throne. Tank has been the face of the lightweight division for years, but Keson's explosive style and rapid rise make him a natural successor. Their rivalry has been building for a while, with Keson repeatedly calling out Gervonta and insisting he has what it takes to beat him. Their past sparring sessions only add to the intrigue of a...
I need you. I don't have to fight you. I'm making real... I don't need you, bro. If you want to fight me, send me a contract, but if you don't, I'm going to be just as popular.
However, GervontaDavis's retirement talk doesn't necessarily mean he's done fighting. His upcoming WBA lightweight title defense against Lamont Roach on March 1st in Brooklyn is still on. Roach, the WBA super featherweight champion, is a skilled and hungry challenger looking to pull off an upset. But if Tank wins, he'll have major fight options at 140 lbs, including potential unification bouts with Vasily Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson. These are the fights fans want to see, but with Gervonta's uncertain mindset, they might remain nothing more than fantasy matchups.
I prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would.
For Keyshawn Davis, the best-case scenario would be securing a decisive victory over GervontaDavis before Tank takes any extended break. Beating a star like Gervonta would launch Keson into superstardom, cementing his status as the next great lightweight champion. With their heated rivalry, the fight could sell out arenas and generate massive pay-per-view numbers. The trash talk, their history, and their contrasting styles would make for an unmissable showdown.
That he's calling out all the names, I'm telling you, that reminds me of Roy Jones Jr. I remember when his father was in control.
The lightweight division is changing, with GervontaDavis's future uncertain and Keson Davis rising fast. New rivalries and champions are on the horizon. Whether or not Tank stays in the sport, one thing is clear. Keson is ready to take over. If he gets the fight he wants against Gervonta, it could be the defining moment of his career. The future of the division hangs in the balance, and all eyes are on these 2 warriors to see who will emerge as the king of the lightweights.